So what is cold crashing? Cold crashing is pretty simple. It's just dropping the temperature of your beer down to about that 1 or 2 degrees once fermentation's finished. When the beer gets that cold, yeast, hop matter and protein, it all clumps together and it just settles out to the bottom. Think of it like a snow globe. When it's shaken, everything's floating around, drop the temperature and it all falls out. So that's great, we know what cold crashing is. So when do we do it? Here's a trap that beginners fall into all the time. Cold crashing too early. Don't hit that go button on your temperature controller the moment you see final gravity. The yeast need time to clean up after themselves. Give them at least 48 hours at room temperature or a couple of degrees above your fermentation temperature after you've hit that stable gravity. That way, they reabsorb the diacetyl and acetaldehyde and polish up the beer. If you crash it too soon, you lock in the buttery or fruity off flavours. I almost guarantee it. So let's talk about some of the downsides to cold crashing. When your beer cools, the air inside your fermenter contracts. In a standard bucket fermenter, that means it can suck sanitizer or oxygen from the air back in through the airlock. In an all-rounder or other pressure fermenter, if you don't keep a bit of CO2 pressure behind the spunning valve, the whole thing can implode. And for those of us still using glass carboys, that temperature difference, as well as a tiny fault in the glass, can cause the whole thing to crack or explode like a glass hand grenade. Now, this isn't the only solution, but it's one you can put together pretty cheaply. You've probably seen me use a water bladder with a check valve before. Look, that works great, but here's something I've been tinkering with. So it's a simple CO2 capture system made from 2 mason jars and some 1/2-inch silicon tubing that I had laying around, as well as a couple of 3D printed parts. During fermentation, the CO2, it fills these jars. Then when you cold crash and the beer starts sucking air back in, instead of dragging in sanitizer or oxygen, it just pulls in its own CO2. So initially you fill the first jar about half full of water, and then as it forces out and over into the second jar, it creates another airlock, and then as the oxygen or the air inside your fermenter shrinks, it sucks the water back over into the first jar, and it allows the pressure to equalise with CO2 that's been produced from the fermentation.